Hey guys, so if you haven't watched my videos before, my name is Kate. I'm 24 years old. I have 2 sons and I live in Iceland with my fiance. I'm Icelandic, he is also, and our kids are also, so of course. So I just wanted to make this video on a subject that's really like touching to me and important, and something that I was kind of ignorant about before I actually knew what it was about. Oh, sorry, my son's waking up. Yeah, so here he is. This is the newest edition. He is about 20 days old, and I'm gonna let him sleep while I talk. So what happened, I've probably always been like had depression, like this sort of depression is what I call it. My mom, I think, had probably has the same thing. My sisters also. I'm just gonna like wind back to when I really found out. My older son, his name is Henry. He is almost 2 years old. He'll be 2 years old on December 30th. And when he was like just over 1 year old, like around maybe 13 months, I started experiencing pretty bad depression. And that's when I sort of went really downhill, and I felt very low, a bit suicidal. I felt like I had a lot of thoughts that I told myself that my fiance and my son would be better off without me. I was useless, worthless, you know. I didn't do them any good. It was really bad. I felt really bad, and I talked to my fiance about it, and that's when I decided to actually go to the doctor. So this had been ongoing probably since I had him. I probably got postnatal depression, postpartum depression, whatever it's called. Not just like the baby blues. I probably got the like real depression, but I didn't really you get those question lists like a week after you give birth or whatever, and they ask you how everything's going, blah blah blah. And you know, I just said everything was fine, and I didn't feel like anything wasn't. But the thing is, me and my fiance, we've been together for over 5 years, and a lot of that time has been where I felt like I had like this ball in my stomach, or like this explosion in my stomach, bomb ready to explode. So when I was I had a lot of tension, and like when I was cooking, and he came to the my back and touched me or something, I sort of just pushed him off, and I would describe it as I felt like I was really mean to him. I didn't know why, and when he was coming home from work or something, I missed him a lot, and I couldn't wait till he came home from work, and then I did this. And when the doctor asked, when I went to see him, he said, who is this most towards? And I said my fiance and my mom. So that's sort of the people that my friends and everything didn't notice. It didn't act like this around them, so I don't know why it was just them. But the doctor said it was the people that you trust the most, that's who it sort of goes onto. So that's so the description, I would say, when I went to the doctor, I said I need angry pills. I need something to control my temper. I'm always mad, I'm mean to my fiance, I just didn't know why I was like that. And I thought, I've always thought that that was just my personality. That's how I was. I've always sort of been like that. I've always sort of felt it, but it just is what's the word? It's just towards the most loved ones that so mostly it was to my mom, for my entire life, but still in between I was really nice. And then of course my fiance, just probably about a year after we started going out. So I guess I trusted him after that year. So that's sort of how I felt. So I didn't connect this to depression at all. I thought it was just me. I had tried to like pull it together a lot of times, like to try to be a better person. Like I wrote lists like how to be not mean to David and my mom and everything. It was, you know, something I really wanted to control, and I could do it for like a few days and then it would go the same way, and I just didn't know why I wouldn't, like why I wasn't just happy. Like I wasn't really happy. Like I was happy with him, but I wasn't happy in my body and everything. And I think probably a lot of this is also connected to my eating disorder. It has been like since I was about 12, so that's probably a lot of like a side effect from that also. But it is sort of like a family history of these kind of like of this type of depression that I call it. Because there's of course like a lot of cases like the depression doesn't appear in just one form. So that's sort of just how I found out. I went to the doctor, not really knowing what he was gonna do. I wasn't able to do it anymore because I wasn't just mad or mean or whatever. I just really felt useless and worthless, and just I just felt like I could just lay in bed. Like I didn't know what to do, and I felt like it's terrible feeling like you think your boyfriend and your child would be better off without you, and it's not a fun feeling. So that's when I decided I had to go do something about it. So he did ask me a lot of questions, and he sort of told me that it was probably sorry, I'm gonna just take a little break. Hi, so I just decided that I would finish this here. He's being a little bit fussy, and yeah, I thought it was just a good idea to finish it here. I took a little break. I feel kind of awkward, almost crying on camera, but I just brought everything up, and you know, you sort of push it down after it's gone, and you forget the bad times really easily, like the details of it. So anyway, I got prescribed some antidepressants at the doctor. I thought like he said something about like sad pills or something. He didn't want to call it like depression, but that's what he gave me. And he said that it could take like 2 or 3 weeks to start working. And I was like, because I was at that low point that, like, you know, spiritual therapy and all that crap, that it was gonna take too long. Like, I felt that low, that I had to get something, you know, that would help me fast. So I got those antidepressants, and they did take exactly 3 weeks to start working. Every day, like in the beginning, I felt worse and worse, but I just knew, like, I didn't know how they were gonna work. I thought that they were gonna be like, you know, oh my god, they just started working. Like, I thought that it was gonna be like that, but they weren't, and I'm still on them, and they don't work like that. So what it feels like is I just felt stabilized. Like, I didn't feel anything dramatically different. I just felt stabilized and more relaxed. Not like to the point of being like tranquilized or something. I just felt the tension in my stomach go away. It's just like you all of a sudden, it's like when you have a cold for a really long time and then all of a sudden you realize like, oh, it's gone, you know? So that's sort of what it felt like. I felt when David was, like, I don't know, touching my shoulder or whatever he would do that normally would irritate me for some weird reason that I felt it go away. I'm never, like, I'm almost never mad or angry or, you know, anything like that. It's been almost a year on those. Time flies. Almost a year, and it's dramatically improved our relationship. It's dramatically improved my mental health, like everything, how I feel. You know, I don't feel the postnatal depression this time. With this guy, I'm still on the pills. I was on them my entire pregnancy. I tried to stop at 3 months with, like, consulting my doctor. We tried, and I just felt bad again, so I didn't, you know, I just started taking them again. They're fine with breastfeeding and everything, so I am still taking them. But just so you guys know, like, it does take time. I have the flash on, so... Oh, and he's got poop. He's had a hard time pooping, like, you know, baby hard time pooping. Yeah, so it does take time to start working. Okay, it was a burp. Oh, does that feel better? Oh, poor guy. So hard being tiny. Yeah. Yeah, it does get better. It takes some time. You know, sometimes you don't really know, like, what's wrong with you. You think it's something really, like, something dramatically different. But I've never been sort of like a doctor person. I feel like sometimes they just say something and get you out of there, but they actually do know sort of what they're talking about. And also, like, with experience, they hear sort of the same symptoms and blah, 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 and they do connect it to the, you know, what most of the times is the right diagnosis. So I do believe that I have to stay on these meds for the rest of my life. I might stop taking them sometime, you know, to try, but I don't really see the reason, because I see, like, I see this dramatic difference in just that, like, just, it's like, you know, the details, like the small things are what made the difference for me. There's nothing dramatically, like, visible that made me feel better or anything. It's the small things. It's the, you know, tension in my stomach, you know, the, like, I was so, like, my threat was so short. I was, like, ready to burst at any second, and that's gone. Like, this pregnancy flew by. I wasn't tense at all. It was just, it was completely different from my last pregnancy. And I do think that that's the meds. Like, I do think that the antidepressants did that. And I'm on, like, even, like, a small dosage and everything, so I'm not really worried about it. Yeah, I just feel a lot better. So, yeah. I am going to cut this short right here. I just wanted to sort of give you an insight into, like, how I saw it or didn't see it, you know, and maybe some of you guys are feeling the same way, and it might help you to sort of take the step to go to the doctors and see if there's actually something up. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. You can always private message me. But yeah, I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.